The folks from LG are trying to separate themselves from the smartphone pack by giving some cutting-edge features and kind of new design. This is the LG V20. With all the screens turned off, and yes, I said all the screens, it looks like most other smartphones out there, but power those suckers on and things start to look a little bit different. This is obviously the successor to the pretty popular LG V10, and I think the flagship for the Korean company. This is packing a lot of new things into it. It's got things like Steady Record 2.0, Hi-Fi Quad DAC, HD audio recording, and a front and rear wide-angle camera lens that supposedly deliver killer pictures. But for me, the biggest feature that I'm excited about, it's the first non-Nexus phone to ship with Android 7.0 Nougat and Google's new in-app phone search function. Think of Steady Record as EIS, or electronic image stabilization, just jacked up on steroids. I get a ton of questions about audio capabilities in smartphones. It's the world's first smartphone to feature 32-bit Hi-Fi Quad DAC powered by ESS technologies, which means it's gonna sound pretty darn good. The Quad DAC is going to deliver way cleaner sound and minimize distortion and ambient noise by up to 50%. If you're big into selfies, it's got a 5-megapixel front-facing camera, but the big story there, it's a wide angle, so you get a 120-degree lens to expand your selfie experience. Arguably, one of the biggest features about the LG line of phones is that second screen, and has been improved with double the brightness and 50% larger font size compared to what the V10 had. So you can use that for a launcher, you can set notifications up there, you can have information pop up. If you've never used a second screen, or at least never seen one, it's totally worth looking at. It might change the way you use a phone. The V20 is shipping with LG's UX 5.0 Plus. They just made it a lot easier and improved than what we saw with 5.0. The V20 also features multi-window to display 2 apps at once in a split screen format, which is native to Nougat. The phone feels really premium, and it does, for those asking, feature a removable battery. No mods, but you can pop in a fresh battery. It's made of metal. In fact, it's AL6013 metal found in aircraft, sailboats, and mountain bikes, so it's really light and really durable. The rest of the specs are what you'd expect from a flagship here. You've got a Snapdragon 820, you've got a 5.7-inch QHD IPS quantum display, it's 513 ppi. The second display, in case you're wondering, is 160 by 1040, or an equal 513 ppi, which is pretty impressive. 4 gigs of RAM are on board. The rear camera is 60 megapixel with f1.8 aperture and 8 megapixel with the f2.4 aperture, and that's your wide angle one. A pretty decent size, 3200 milliamp hour battery, and again, that's removable. Other things you'd expect too, like quick charge 3.0 and fingerprint sensor in the back, are all built in. We don't yet know pricing or release dates, but when we do, we'll update this. A few colors are going to be available, either Titan, silver, or pink if you are so inclined. So this is the LG V20. Looks like to be a worthy successor to the V10. Is a V20 for you? Give a thumbs up for second screen, which I think is something you really need to try if you're in the new smartphone market. Plus, already based on Nougat, so you don't have to worry too much about software updates coming on in. Until next time, I'm John Rettinger from Techno Buffalo.